Hey guys, welcome back. Building big with City Skylines. This is episode 4. I'm Enigmas, and today we're continuing. We're doing what we do. In the last episode, we set up all these roads with empty zoning available for what would eventually be residential. And then I realized that this road here was probably set up in the worst possible way, because it was set up so that traffic would be coming along here, and then it would go up this way, and then around, and then down, which makes very little sense from a traffic standpoint. If we're trying to save, intersections and things like that, we still want to be making sure that the flow of traffic makes sense. So I went around and I switched it so that it now comes this way. So the same traffic that's coming here that could basically go down here could also continue down this way, come down here, and then exit off this way and then back around again. If we were working with two-way roads, it would be a little bit different. It would probably run a little bit smoother in some of these longer stretches for the time being. In the long term, I think it'll hopefully be a little bit better, but I do want to fix this area here, because this is definitely a no-no if you're in a car coming this way and then you have to turn left. That's like greater than a 90-degree turn. This is definitely an area where people would have to stop. So we're just going to do what we can to correct that without completely ruining everything around it. And it shouldn't take too much, but we just want to make sure that we're a little bit careful about how we set this up. And I guess we could go like that. And again, this is going to be a little bit tricky because it's in such a confined space. We'll do like that, and then with any luck we'll be able to bring it around this way. Oh, that works. I'm actually quite happy with that. It doesn't look fantastic. It's a little bit abrupt, but it does what we want it to do in the sense of having traffic come this way and then just flowing and merging directly into the one-way road and then back down around this way. And I'll bet you if we were to look carefully, yeah, that's a stop sign there, down there. And we want to avoid the stop sign. So again, before we get too developed down here, we're just going to take advantage of this opportunity to correct that. So that the traffic kind of merges instead of just showing up and stopping. It's still a stop sign there, but it looks a lot more like a merge than an intersection. So we're going to keep that. We're going to roll with it. We're going to see how it goes. Next up, and we're kind of moving forward at a slow speed because we are earning a bit of money, but there are people who are dreadfully unhappy with this, specifically the ones who are sick, because you can see they're just, it's like the plague is spreading through our city. This year, when I first signed into the game, I saw this and I was about to put another windmill, and then I remembered that it's going to stay like that, flashing with no power until we get some houses down here connecting. I'm not even going to spend the money to run power lines temporarily down that way, but we do want to get this clinic in here, and I'm just trying to think of a good spot for it. I think if we put it down this way, then it'll catch a lot of these places here. Someone whose house is here, they can kind of come down the road like that and they get to the clinic. All roads eventually end up out here, so that's where we'll put our clinic. We'll just kind of tuck it in there, and that will hopefully there, look at all the happy faces, the happy smiling faces. And now we have to be a little bit cautious, because if we start exceeding our reach financially, we're going to be in a lot of trouble. So this is going to be complaining about no power. For this one, just to keep the city happy, we're going to extend a temporary shenanigan, because we haven't even zoned these areas down here yet. And that actually connected somehow all by itself. Now the park is powered. These people are going to get better. Everyone's going to be happy. And then before we set things to just go crazy, that's something else that I wanted to do. I realized after we recorded the last episode that the way this is set up completely isolates our little traffic circle here from any kind of traffic coming out this way towards all this area down here. So again, before things get too developed and people get too happy with this, look at all the crazy. Everyone's so happy. The parks and buildings are upgrading. It's very, very crazy time for the city. So what we're going to do is we're going to upgrade this road here, and we're going to bring it out, and that's going to be the through road coming off of the traffic circle I just have to decide exactly how I want this to work, so that we'll be able to actually, you know, accept traffic coming off the traffic circle this way. I think we might be in kind of an odd position. Maybe what we could do is do an elevated major exit and a giant one-way road. Let's see how much it's going to cost. First of all, we can't build any highways yet. 6-lane one-way road, a two-way road. Is it going to tell us what we need for that? 4,800 people for the highway with sound barrier. 2,400 3-lane one-way road suitable for connecting population centers. Maybe we should wait till 2,400 and then we'll put that in, and then we don't have to worry about dorking around and upgrading it. We have to get something from the traffic circle out this way, and then whatever ends up happening, the demolishing and the crushing of houses and things, is a necessary evil that we can get by with as long as we got everything sort of taken care of early. Now these people are all still saying they don't have proper medical coverage. I think they're fibbing, personally. What have we got? No, apparently they're quite serious, and this person's house is on fire. So let's think about moving. Can we do that? Advisor. I've yet to move a building in this game. Milestones, areas, no. Let's see here. Close. On-off. Move. Relocate building. Excellent. So let's bring it up here. Okay. That abandoned building that you're complaining about? We're going to solve that right now. We're going to put it... space already occupied. There we go. That's much better. And the unhappiness also. What the hell were they unhappy about? Everyone was happy for a second and then they got very, very mad. And I don't know why. Let's look at this guy. They're sick. Adults. One uneducated adult is sick and he's very angry, despite the fact that there's now a medical clinic just down the street from his home. We'll give him a little time to think about that. I'm also thinking that it's quite possible... Oh, right, they became unhappy because we lost power to this guy. The easiest way to fix this, I think, it's just going to be like that. And to hell with it. The thing is, I have to remember, is that we're on kind of a medium speed, so that things don't go all crazy in terms of income and demand while we're setting these things up, but at the same time money is coming in at a trickle, and sometimes things take a little while to update and actually show that they're working. So we'll just kind of do it like that. That's working now. They're still unhappy because they're sick, but they have medical coverage. Do they not? Or is it still... See, I'm guessing the blue is the decent coverage. Is it just in a bad spot? Let's just kind of speed it up a little bit here. See what happens. I'm a little bit concerned. There we go. The sickness is going away. It's taking its sweet time, but it's happening. Alright, houses are upgrading because we've got the sickness problem being solved. The parks are there. Alright, so good. We're very happy that that's resolved. We need another 350 or so people to get the upgrade that we want for this guy. And that will be... I'm just trying to think here. Highway ramp. Connect highways to the city streets and other highways with ramps. Highway with sound barrier, we don't really care about that. And apparently it would be a good idea to swap the donut itself for the 3-lane one-way highway instead of the 6-lane one-way road and get rid of these intersections. So we'll keep that in mind. Right now our biggest demand, however, is for industrial, and we were doing a pretty good job of stretching the industrial over towards the garbage dumps instead of out this way so that the pollution affects the commercial areas. Another building is burned down. The thing about buildings burning down is that they're almost more expensive to save than they are to rebuild. So we're kind of being a little bit cautious about how we're spending on that whole shenanigan. So one of the other things that I want to do is we want to use this area for industrial in here, but we don't want this massive traffic loop going around like this and then another one like that, and it kind of goes like this. So we're going to do a little bit of thoughtful planning, we'll call it, in the form of more one-way roads, but that have kind of an outlet available a little bit more readily so that they can get through and kind of bypass all this craziness that's going on and get back to the center of town after they've dropped off at their destination. So this is going to be a little bit crazy. We're going to lose some industrial zones, but I think in the long term it'll be mostly worth it. More sick citizens are popping up. I wonder if it's just there's a lot of sick people, and it's exceeding what the clinics can care for, and that's why it's such a pressing issue up that way. So we're gonna, it looks like I'm doing what I just said I didn't want to do, but we're actually going to be modifying this ever so slightly in a moment here. And like so. I really want to put it just like that, which means we're going to have to do something. So that's just, we'll kind of swing this over like this. Okay, these are all powered with power lines. We don't need these ones extending anymore, so we're going to bulldoze like so. Oh, come on. There we go. Alright, that kind of gives us a little bit of breathing room to muck about with this. Yeah, it's set to bendy. And is that as good as we're going to get it? It's not bad. It's got stop signs, but I mean, this guy obviously didn't care, so it can't be too bad. And then this is where we're going to kind of take our chances with something a little bit crazy. I think we're actually going to have to wait for highways for the crazy bits too. I know what we can do. What we'll do is we'll zone it, but we're going to leave a gap in the middle. So we could do, say, from here down. And we're going to have to be a little bit thoughtful about how we do this to make sure that we get proper coverage for the power. And we're actually going to de-zone this. And zone from here down. And might as well do this. There's a water tower in the middle of all this crap. I'm sure that water is going to taste fantastic after a few months of sitting in the middle of an industrial zone, but what can you do? And we'll just make sure that that crappy tasting water can reach everyone, especially the dump. We'll just kind of bring it up like this, and then we'll do like so. Try and space this about right. Not bad. Not bad at all. There we go. Now I'm trying to get in the habit of making sure that we're not running more pipe than we absolutely need to. Like, all of this pipe in here is like completely redundant, and in fact, let's fix this. It's going to save us a pretty substantial amount of money in the long run, I think. If we get rid of all of this redundant piping and just kind of run things. Can we? Yeah. a little bit more cleanly. We're not that good yet that we can afford to waste money on things that aren't really working as well as they could be for the sake of saying, we didn't know any better at the time. So that's a little bit better. I think we can do better here. And I think yes, and then with any luck bring it down from here. Space already occupied. With what? What are you occupied with? I saw a shimmer of... There we go. A building is burned down. Thank you. And... can we straighten this? I think we can. Get ourselves to something a little bit more like a grid, or something that loosely resembles a grid. I think that's going to be kind of the ideal scenario. And of course there's this wee little section right here. It's very happy to point out to us that we missed. So we will just kind of extend just enough to cover that. And then that'll be good for now. That's a little bit better. We saved, I'm sure, some money on the amount of pipe that we have to maintain. Look at all these sick people here. What is wrong with them, aside from the fact that they're sick? Let's turn this off. Let's take a look at our medical clinic that we put up here somewhere, didn't we? They all look the same. Medical clinic, 76 of 100 patients. All of its ambulances are in use. Patients treated last week, 3. Okay. Operating normally, says it. Even though it doesn't appear to be anything normal at all. We're actually losing a little bit of money, but I think that might have had something to do with the fact that for a long time we were running without water down here. So these guys are saying that they have no workers. Let's see, they have water, they have power. So what's the dealio? Why don't you have any workers? Operating normal, not enough workers. 3 uneducated out of a maximum of 12. 9 jobs available. And our population is declining quite rapidly, but we have a high demand for residential. So let's try and meet that demand by painting large green blobs all over the map. Those power lines actually probably go. Pretty sure we're okay now. We don't need them anymore. That one, that one, that one. Then we'll go back and make sure that, yeah, like, helped us recover some of the blobbies. And we're going to leave this here for now, and we'll just double check. We've got water there, yes. We'll have power reaching around there momentarily, so we'll do the great residential sweep all the way around the outside. They've got parks, they've got everything they need except for healthcare, and they're very, very unhappy with me for not providing that healthcare in a manner of their choosing. So let's just, you know what it is? It's the one-way roads right now are problematic. There's no way around it. When you've got a clinic there and it's showing that there's no healthcare coverage up here, my sense is that it's a result of that specifically. and sick people get cranky and then they move out. So let's try, we'll de-zone this up here because it's not exactly, did it just say no water? It did, but it was lying. Okay. That is very, very odd, I have to say. Okay, so rather than doing silly things, if we look at it like this, yeah, I just noticed this myself when we're trying to figure out saying that we've got issues with coverage. It's got the green thing on the road that appears to be marking where this thing has access to with the ambulances, and if people can't get there by an ambulance to the clinic, they won't go and they'll stay sick, which to me is a little bit silly, but that's okay. So we're going to pause it for a second because we're just starting to get more people back into town, but we want to improve things for them. Okay. We're going to move this guy right up here, and that will give us much better coverage for these people up here. There we go, but it's going to make people mad because they lose the park again to the power problems and stuff. Hopefully that will correct. Bring it back up to speed now. That's got to solve a lot of our healthcare issues just all by itself, is relocating that so at least the ambulances can get where they can pick the sick people up and take them and drop them off. We lost some people again. Now these people are saying they're sick and it's not getting any better. So all of these people around here, these ones down here, they should all be fine. They should stop complaining immediately. God damn it. So we've got a pressing need for more coverage. Do I really want to spend another 10,000 on a medical clinic so soon? I feel like no. I feel like I've got other things that I want to be spending money on, like another school, because this was flashing red at me a little while ago, a high school. That again, we have to be mindful of who can get to school and who can't because of the way the roads are set up, apparently. This is just very odd how this is kind of working out. If we put it here, it looks like we'll have really decent coverage except for these people up here, and I want to avoid making people mad at me saying that their kids are forever stupid because they couldn't get them to school. It's a great little tool that helps you see the coverage that you're going to get once you understand that it's there. Where? Alright, you know what? Maybe they're just going to have to stay a little bit less educated up there. I can't save everyone. Ouch, that's going to hurt. But, oh, look at all the happiness. So much happiness. And we're not completely bankrupt, but it's not going to be long before we get there. Still tremendous demand for residential. So we're going to zone this up here. We're going to. I think we're going to start running into power problems any second now for all of the residential zoning that we're doing. And while we're at it, keep everyone happy, a small playground. Actually, we'll put it over this way a little bit, I think. We'll do it right across from the high school. We've got the park up here, now we've got one here. And it was advised that we also include some green space for our commercial and even our industrial areas. So we can do that. This park is... We're going to put a small playground in the middle of an industrial area, so all the big burly men in their coveralls can come and play on the teeter-totter during their coffee breaks. Yes, that's how we do. Look at that. That was, I think, probably the smartest thing we've ever done for our city, but it's costing us. It's costing us. We have to be very, very careful now because we're earning, but we're not earning very quickly. And the demand is actually not bad. We've taken care of most of the residential demand, so hopefully we can kind of keep an eye on things. We need to get police and fire coverage up here, but that's money that we don't have right now. And we still want to do the thing with the highway, which at the way things are, the rate things are going, could take forever. Growing pains, which I'm fine with growing pains. We can work with growing pains. We can get things sorted out, people moved in, people healthy, their houses not burning down or broken into, and educated so that they know how to walk to school, hopefully for the future generation. And we'll do it all in the next episode, or at least we'll take a stab at it. So if you want to be notified when I add that episode, the easiest way, of course, is to subscribe to my channel. You can also follow me for notifications on social media. Links for that are in the information section below the video. Please leave your comments and feedback. Thanks for watching, guys, and take care.